It's the time of year when everybody in the neighborhood is getting new cars.
We don't.
It's because we're different.
Boy, we certainly are. Nobody else has a 1928 Porter in their garage.
So what? You have a perfectly restored classic car that at least one person considers worth a ton of money. I never understood the whole keeping up with the neighbors thing. We used to call it keeping up with the Joneses. I also never understood the big deal about what kind of car you drive. What is an automobile? It's a powered box designed to carry you from point A to point B. That's it. How that ever became a status symbol is beyond me.
Aren't we ever going to get a new car, Daddy? How about a new used one?
Oh, don't worry, kids. We'll get a new car. As soon as the Junkyard claims this one.
Oh, bite your tongue.
The Junkyard will never claim that Porter, honey.
My loyal son.
Oh, I'm only teasing, Dave. If it's good enough for you, it's good enough for me.
The kids agree and we have a nice little awe moment for the whole family. But it's not going to last long. Enter chaos.
Mrs. Crabtree, Mrs. David Crabtree?
Yes?
Are you in good health? Steady pulse?
Normal blood pressure,
Not subject to fainting spells?
stout heart.
What's this all about, anyway?
Yes, who are you? What do you want?
Yeah, who are you? What do you want?
Who are we? What do we want?
Oh, sublime innocence.
When you start talking about my wife in those tones, it's time for you to leave. Whether you're done with your business or not. Even though there's no reason why they should know any of these nitwits from the Man in the Moon, they're acting like they're old buddies. And they really are bringing good news.
You are now the proud owner of this magnificent automobile.
If there's a patron saint for old cars, whoever you are, help!
I don't know why she's worried. Now Barbara can have her own car and Dave can drive Mom. So how did this happen?
Your name, your lucky name, was drawn out of the feed bag this morning. Do you see? Mrs. David Crabtree.
That's she.
Hey, that's you.
That's me!
Now, here are the keys and the transfer of ownership. Congratulations, Mrs. Crabtree.
They want to use her words and image for a promotion. There's just one little issue.
Well, I don't shop at the Feedbag supermarket. I mean, I was there for the first time the other day just to return some deposit bottles, and that's when I threw this card in your big feed bag.
We shop at the Costa Lessa Market.
Shops at Costa Lessa.
Yep, she was there for the first time, and she was there to collect money, not spend it. This is going to make an awesome commercial. He goes away whining, and the family celebrates.
Boy, wait till the neighbors see us.
Wait till my clients see us drive up in this boat.
Hey, AM/FM radio.
With speakers in the front and the back.
And on the sides.
Hey, look at this. Cigarette lighters with pearl handles.
In front and in back.
And on the sides. Check this. A telephone.
But somebody isn't too happy about all this.
Hello? Hello? Hello, this is James Bond. What's my next assignment? 10-4, 11-21.
Dave, will you stop that honking?
Nuts.
And here it comes. She can't be happy for her son and his family. All she can think about is herself, and she's ready to throw a wet blanket on this party.
Remember me?
What do you mean?
What are you, some kind of fink? Going ape over that limousine floozy? You know you can't afford that car.
Why not? It's paid for.
Sell it.
Oh, come on, Mom. Are you kidding? Sell that beautiful...
Hunk of iron? Yeah, that's what I said. Sell it.
There's a useful word that Dave needs to learn. In fact, it's so useful you can use it equally well in English, Spanish, French, and Italian. The word is no. As we already know, I don't like Mom even a little bit. She's manipulative, scheming, a little dishonest, and is making a mess of his life because she wants and she wants and she wants, and it never ends. It doesn't occur to her that maybe Dave and Barbara have built a life that's just a little different than the way she would have done it, and there's nothing wrong with that. This is a happy event. That car is probably valued at several months of his pay, and they got it free. But she can't be happy for them. She cares about herself. Period. Not a good character.
Dave, this may come as a shock, but we can't keep this car.
You're kidding.
We can't afford two cars.
What? It's not a matter of affording. It's already paid for.
Oh, Dave, I'm as gone on this car as you are, believe me, but let's be practical. If we sell the car, we can get a lot of money.
How important is money?
Nobody asked you. And if you sold it and got a lot of money, what would you do with the money? Since you're not making payments on either car, why not have your own vehicle to go shopping, run the kids around, visit your friends, whatever you want to do, but can't because Dave took the Porter? Now, if you were making payments on that monstrosity, I could see her hesitation. That could make things a little tight. But there's no payment. The only expenses are gas and upkeep. Take the car and be happy. And besides, you'll have a great time watching Phil Durkin try to figure out how he can get a new car now, too. One time in American history, the Joneses will be trying to keep up with the Crabtrees.
That car is an intruder, David. You're hurting me deep down in my distributor.
I'm sorry, Mom.
If it were a choice between your mother and your wife, I could understand it. But your wife, that darling girl, that sweet, gentle, understanding soul, she wants to sell the car and you don't.
I cannot buy any of this. Her reaction is absurd and not believable. If it's nothing but a hunk of metal, why is she feeling threatened? She knows Dave won't get rid of her and will probably drive her exclusively so Barbara can have the other car. This is casting her in the worst light possible, not just selfish, but a prima donna. If she can't be the only car in the garage, she doesn't want to play.
Well, now, you were saying that you wanted...
Oh, that I want to get rid of the car. But you're right, it is too beautiful to sell. We're going to keep it.
Oh, no.
Oh, it won't be too much of a burden. We can scrimp and save, and we'll just be very careful. Be like a newborn baby.
Yeah, but, honey, a minute ago you said you wanted to sell the car.
Oh, that was before you talked me out of it.
And that was the right thing to do, Mom's little temper tantrum notwithstanding.
But one thing for sure. We've got to get rid of the Porter.
Right, we'll get...
Right, first thing in the morning.
Oh, we're not going to get rid of the Porter.
Why?
Well, because we're not selling it. It's my Porter, and I put a lot of hard work in it, and it's well, one thing's for sure: the Porter stays.
Okay, but we keep the new car too, right?
Well, okay.
See, Mom, you have nothing to worry about, so stuff your jealousy and get used to having a big brother or sister. I don't know where you look on a car to tell. But speaking of prima donnas...
Call the junkyard, Dave. Tell them I'll be over shortly. You fixed things just swell with Barbara.
Mom, I tried. It just didn't work. You heard.
Now you hear this. This garage isn't big enough for that car and me. Oh, dispossessed out of my own garage.
Okay, that's funny, not to say gratifying. She doesn't like the blanket, so she fiddles with her top and doors to throw it off.
Uh-oh. Now I did it.
Since you're a grown woman who lived a complete life and then came back fully grown, maybe things like that wouldn't happen if you acted like a genuine adult instead of a petulant, spoiled brat. Dave and Barbara both come out, and Barbara is upset about a scratch on the bumper. Nobody can explain what happened, but there it is.
What's the big idea?
It was an accident. That dirty canvas cloth you covered me with obstructed my view.
Mom, you're just being mean.
Mean? Your sweet, dear, lovable mother?
If he had one of those, your question might be valid, but he doesn't. He has you. Again, she demands that he get rid of the car, but he can't do it. Barbara is absolutely over the moon about it.
Dave, thanks for letting me keep the car.
That's all right.
Well, Mom, you said you could understand if it was a choice between his mother and his wife. As you saw, it is, so you lose. Shut up and go to sleep. She says there's a cold spell coming and she's stuck outside in the elements. As if that's never happened to her before, but she is really milking all this. Dave builds her a carport.
Is she a beauty?
Tear it down. You're encroaching on my property. What? Don't what, me? I happen to have bought the property next door to you. My name is Baxter, and I think you should become acquainted with the man who's going to sue you.
Oh, now, just a minute. What makes you think that
I'm not a thinking man, Crabtree. I'm a knowing man.
We'll find out that the very top of it is hanging over the property line by 3 inches. Whoopee-dingle-dangle. He wasn't exaggerating when he said he's not a thinking man.
Which one of you fellas is David Crabtree?
I am.
Crabtree the squatter, right there.
I'm Harper Cassidy, building inspector. You don't have a permit.
In most states, cities, municipalities, counties, and every other ease, you don't need one for a prefab movable structure like this. Go away.
Mr. Crabtree?
Here.
Property Tax Department. Did you just build this carport?
Yeah, well,
Yes, certainly did.
Well, that's certainly going to increase his property value.
Property
yes,
value?
sir. He's going to get a nice, fresh tax bill the first of the year.
Property tax assessments never worked like that in California, not even in 1966. Also, again, it's not permanently affixed to the property, as evidenced by the fact that everybody knows it's a simple matter to take it down. So it's chattel, not property, and has nothing to do with you. Go away.
Mrs. Crabtree,
Yes?
I understand you just won a new automobile.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, what about it?
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
What about the new automobile?
It's valued at $8,000.
You want to buy it?
Oh, it's not for sale.
My only interest in the car is its value, Mrs. Crabtree. My name is Farley, district tax collector.
He has a legitimate reason to be there. Not only do they probably owe sales tax on the car, I've had that happen to me, it's also classed as income, so it's taxable to the tune of over $600. He calculated it. He's one of those people that's so helpful you'd like to drown him. The other guys have been arguing about whether or not he can take it down because the property tax guy says he can't do it without a wrecking permit. Building permit guy says he can't build it without a permit, but the other two point out that he already did, so now he needs a wrecking permit to take it down and get Baxter out of his face. Speaking of Baxter, I was mistaken. The carport is encroaching on his property by 3.5 inches. As if that's not enough chaos to deal with, Mom is screaming again.
You have just been presented with the M.O.
What's that?
Modus operandi. The method of operation to get Barbara to sell the car.
You mean because of the income tax man?
And the property tax man and the man on whose land you are encroaching.
But, oh, I get it. Money.
That's what happens when you're an overbearing, domineering, manipulating prima donna of a mother. Your kids are a little slow.
Too long.
Mrs. Crabtree, congratulations on your new automobile.
You want to buy it?
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that car is a real beauty. You should give it everything it deserves.
What do you mean?
My name is Harris. Your car deserves the best, and so do you.
I still don't understand.
Oh, insurance, Barbs. The car needs insurance, and so do we, right, Mr. Harris?
Oh, you're an understanding man, Mr. Crabtree.
This was long before insurance became mandatory and the United States started subsidizing a cutthroat industry whose job is to take as much of your money as possible and give you nothing in return. But she would definitely want full coverage on a new car like that.
And it'll be expensive, too, right? I mean for complete coverage.
Expensive?
We'll need personal liability, right?
Right?
Fire and theft?
Of course.
Property damage and collision?
You can't do without property damage and collision.
Major medical?
Oh, major medical. Why, of course, I almost forgot. Every car owner has major medical.
Oh, scratches, dents, lacerations.
Say, Crabtree, you should have been an insurance man.
Barbara's head is swimming in dollar signs.
Ah, Miss Crabtree, only a woman of your fine nature is deserving of winning such a lovely piece of automotive engineering. My name is Fink.
He's there to sell them custom seat covers. Wouldn't want to mess up that pretty upholstery now, would we? As the numbers keep flying at her, Barbara reaches her breaking point.
How are we going to pay for all this? Tell me that.
Oh, there's only one thing to do, Barbs.
Right, and I'm going to do it.
Good girl.
Sell the Porter.
Bad girl.
We all know that's not happening. She's driving herself sane, trying to sort out a way to pay their bills and still keep the car, and it's not working. Dave has an idea.
You know that movie we watch every night right after the news, 11 o'clock? And that guy comes on real loud, talks louder in the movie, and says, "Hi, I'm your lonely dealer down here, and I've got so many cars I don't know what to do." And he's sick and sad because he can't sell them. He'd give us $5,000 for the car.
That's about $42,000 today. Hey, I have 3 motorized boxes. You can have each one of them for that price.
Hello, Feedbag Supermarkets? I'd like to speak to Mr. Pratt, please.
Next thing we know, the car isn't hers after all.
What do you mean? What do I mean?
I'll tell him. You see, there was a mistake. Now, the lady who really won the car was a Mrs. David Crabtree of Sacramento.
Except they said they did the drawing here out of their own feed bag. Good thing Dave didn't catch that. Barbara says they're right, it's not mine. Take the car.
She could have gotten $5,000 for that car. Then Frack and Jackson come along, and all of a sudden...
Not all of a sudden, Davy. She called Frack and arranged the whole deal.
She called?
There's no Mrs. David Crabtree in Sacramento. She told Frack she wanted the car delivered to a Worthy Day nursery.
My wife gave the car to charity?
A very nice charity, David.
In other words, she's a much better schemer than you are. I suggest you sit at her feet and learn, Grasshopper. But disconnect Mom's horn first.